I am Bradley Austin. I am the director for the IDLO Justice Training and Transition Program.
Tell me about this program. What's it trying to achieve?
It's basically the final steps in getting the Afghan judicial sector, that includes judges, lawyers, both defense and prosecution, criminal prosecution, as well as the Criminal Investigative Division of the Attorney General's Office and the MOI, Ministry of Interior, the police, to make sure that they're able to carry on their own with it. And as it would be for any judicial sector around the world, this is not a special attention for a country which is post-conflict or in need. All organized judiciaries around the world have continual training. In the United States, lawyers are always taking classes in order to keep their credentials up to date. Police continuously go back for re-credentialing in their capacity. So this isn't anything special or any way making them a lesser case. This is getting them up to the capability of the rest of the world.
Still, to most people, Afghanistan is very much a special case, and this is bound to be seen as part of the overall post-withdrawal legacy project. So how does it fit into that paradigm?
In an effort for the withdrawal to make more sense, instead of the West or the development community doing things for them, this is the West making sure that the offices in Afghanistan can do it for themselves.
And is it going to be mostly Afghans training Afghans or Westerners training Afghans?
It's going to be both. We're starting out mostly with Westerners. There are also some Middle Easterners, as well as people from the region working with the Afghans. Over time, and actually within the first year, the number of internationals engaging in the trainings is going to scale back. And eventually, as our chief of party out there, who's a former Southern California police officer, used to say, it's much like the training that police officers go through. At first, you ride next to your partner. And then slowly but surely, some of the responsibilities get transferred over. And then finally what happens is that the person that was once the lead partner becomes the following partner and just watches while the trainee basically graduates from being student to being competent.
Let's put some numbers on it.
Right. Right now we are looking at a 30-month time frame to continue to accomplish this work. We're going to be working in 7 provinces, including Kabul, with a mobile team to cover the rest of the 27 provinces that don't have offices within them. Our provinces are regionally based, so we can reach out and make the work a little bit more effectively logistically. We are looking to train upwards of 3,000 participants, and these would be new judges. In Afghanistan, they are only graduating 200 judges every year. So I think the WJP put these numbers together, World Justice Program. It would take the better part of 3 generations to fill the number of judicial seats that are empty based on a 200 new judges minus attrition every year. So there is a lot to be done, not only on the part of IDLO, but also on the part of the Afghans themselves. And along the way, part of the effort is also to press the Afghan system to test itself.
How do you assess Afghanistan's justice sector now?
It is a patchwork. Like much of the country, you have judges that have doctorates, international doctorates. You have other judges that don't even have a basic education. They just sort of came into their position due to their standing in the community. It's also a sandwich of secular law and Sharia law. And they intermingle sometimes effectively. And then there is the formal justice sector and the informal justice sector. They don't always get along, but we're trying to make sure that there's at least connections between the two, that when the citizenry goes to the informal sector, which they are going to do, at least there is some sort of accountability and some sort of codification of the results that the formal sector is aware of, trying to build bridges between the two, while also making sure that the informal sector, and this isn't us, this is another INL project, while the informal sector is as fair and normalized as possible.
We talked earlier about the extent to which Afghanistan is a unique case or not. Is there a template? Has this been done on such a scale before? A template that could be transposed to the Afghan situation?
No, there's not. This is as complex as it can possibly be because of the various factors that I just outlined, as well as geographically difficult, ethnically difficult, and a justice sector, and to continue with your previous question, that has such a great variety and a great expanse of talent and experience, that dealing with some judges that can speak multiple languages, have degrees and experience from around the world, it's difficult to get them trained with even more advanced systems while you're also trying to train those who have no formal legal background at all. And respecting all aspects of that is paramount to this program.
How prepared do you think IDLO is to take on something quite so massive? Because I don't think it's done anything quite this big in its history.
No, this is the largest program, but it's come at the right time for IDLO. Conceptually, we have a very good mindset about how to take this on. We have a good mix of Afghan veterans as well as newcomers to make sure that I guess the old timers out there who know the way, know where the potholes and the bumps are in the road, as well as the newbies out there that have the energy and the drive and the new vision to make this all come together. IDLO, we're ready, and we're going to be doing this through thick and thin. One of the messages that our Director General delivered to many of the partners when she was recently out there was that we are partnering with Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a member of IDLO, and IDLO is different from the rest of the development community in the fact that we are an intergovernmental organization. So we have a partnership that goes along with Afghanistan beyond just JTTP, but is partnering with them for the long haul. And around JTTP, there are going to be advances and retreats. And we are there to keep this whole thing moving forward through all of them to make sure that we reach our objective on or about June 2015.
How will success be assessed? Is it just a matter of saying we've trained 3,000 and we're done? Is there more to it than that?
Yes, there's absolutely more to it. This is not a numbers game. This is a capacity evaluation, and we're setting up our monitoring and evaluation framework in order to be able to measure this. This is a matter of putting it in context instead of just quantifying it with numbers. And we are looking at the capabilities of the judges coming into the JTTP efforts and then them coming out, and making sure that there is a marked difference in between the two to say that, yes, he's more capable now. And we're also going to be measuring it on the institutions and their ability to conduct the training themselves. I mean, there will be a very simple way of stepping back and seeing that the programs are carrying on without much JTTP support, and then they're done. Then they're probably just going to be looking for direct financial support in a country-to-country situation rather than through a development organization.
IDLO lately has been making a lot of gender justice. Is there some sort of gender justice construct built into this?
Not per se. There is always efforts to reinforce the elimination of violence against women laws in Afghanistan, and to make sure that there are enough opportunities and avenues to protect the women as possible. In all of the work, there's always an effort to make sure that it is at least gender balanced given the situation. There are fewer women lawyers in Afghanistan than pretty much anywhere else, but we want to make sure that women lawyers, judges, as few as there are, and students have at least as fair a access as the men do at a 50-50 level. And there are many, many bright women in Afghanistan who are studying law. In a blind test recently, I think the past 3 years, the top 10 stage students graduating have all been women. So it's, of the women who are few, they are excelling within this field.
You've just come back from Afghanistan where the project was launched. What sort of echo did it get? How did it go down? With the politicians and, as far as you could gauge, with the public?
Hard to gauge with the public. We still operate, at least when we're in the compound, in a bit of a bubble, unfortunately. We're trying to get out, and I would love to be able to go out to the villages and walk around and ask them. But there are certain security concerns, as always, as well as international differences that make this almost impossible. But we're going to keep trying. Politically, we had all the right comments from the Minister of Justice, from the Attorney General's office. The Supreme Court continues to be interested, if not putting their full weight of support behind it. We are looking to make sure that they're coming along as best as possible. We're going to be able to tell over time. It's nice to know that we led the news, the television news, the night of the launch. And that's the same day that President Karzai had some pretty important things to say. So it was nice to see that we actually got higher billing than the president's comments.
Finally, your level of confidence in this project. I'm not going to ask you for a scale of 1 to 10, but broadly speaking.
It's an 11. No, there are going to be a lot of problems with this. This is a very, very tough assignment, and it's tough because of the subject matter, as well as the participants, as well as the absorptive capacity of our partners in the field. And we are going to push them hard. I wish there was some sports metaphor that I could use, but I don't know enough about soccer to actually make it worthwhile. It's difficult, but it's eminently doable. It's going to take patience and focus on our part and a willingness to push themselves on the part of the Afghan government.
Bradley Austin, many thanks.